What is up? 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 Grocknation. Welcome back, everybody, to the arcade this evening. It's been a minute since I uploaded a video for you all. A lot's happened. And I really just wanted to take the month of July off. Just kind of get things ready for the summer, which I am now enjoying. And I generally hope you all are as well. I got married at the end of June. It was a huge life event. And I've been meaning to talk to you guys about it. So I really hope you're looking forward to that. This is going to be story of my wedding in the category of life stories today. So you got that to look forward to. I'm also going to be doing soft spoken and not completely whispered. So I think going forward, we're going to do a little more soft spoken as opposed to just straight whispering all the time. So yeah, that's what we're going to be discussing this evening. Before we get started, guys, though, again, if you're new to the channel and you like the video, make sure to give it that thumbs up as well. Hit that subscribe button if you're interested in sticking around. There's a lot of different flavors of ASMR in this channel. As well, guys, before we get started, something's changed in YouTube since the last time I uploaded a video. If you haven't already, I have, because I like to watch ASMR and I sleep to it. Make sure to turn off your stable volume found in your additional settings. It's pretty much ruined ASMR in between whispering and low talking. There's a loud background noise. So if you do that, you'll actually get rid of it. And yeah, it'll really make your videos better, or make your listening experiences better. So if you haven't done that already, make sure to do that. Okay, so as I said, I took the month of July off from uploading. I just had a lot to do, and the fallout of our wedding. I got married June 22nd. That's not a good sign. I'm already forgetting the day. June 22nd, I got married. I believe the week of my wedding, I uploaded one video to try to tide you guys over a Fragpunk gameplay from a closed beta I was invited to play. But I want to discuss this wedding, and I'll give you guys some pictures as well. Those of you that have been following me on Instagram, you've definitely seen these pictures. But I'll put some extra ones up there as well. This is one of the reasons why I was kind of holding off on doing this video as well. Our wedding photographer just recently, I think 2 weeks ago, gave us our wedding pictures. I still have to download them all. I've downloaded quite a bit, but I kind of decided that I want to download them all and not just nitpick the ones we kind of like, because we paid a lot of money for them. So before we get started with that, we should probably go back. I think I've touched on this in, story of my life video. But I met my fiance, or my wife now. I got to get used to saying my wife. It's really weird saying that now. She was my girlfriend up until 2018, and then she was my fiance. Now she's my wife. So I met her in 2009. She was a student in my mixed martial arts class. And we were together. From that day we met, and we went to a dinner movie date. We've been together ever since. I got engaged in Hawaii, Kauai, the island of Kauai to be exact. And that was in 2018. We decided that we weren't going to get married in 2019 because it was a contract year. And things weren't looking so rosy in the mining business. So I was like, we better just play safe and get married in 2020, because that'll be awesome. 2020. We'll always remember our anniversary date. And obviously that didn't turn out. The world pretty much ended for 3 years for us, so we did book it though. We planned to get married in Banff, Alberta. a place I camped in a lot when I was a kid. It's like I always consider that chain of mountains between Banff and Jasper like my home mountains. I spent a lot of time there in the summer months because we were poor and we just go camp for summer vacations as a kid. That's why it's kind of heartbreaking right now seeing the amount of damage done to Jasper. We actually planned on going there this month, and we decided not to a week before it all burned down, pretty much. So it's kind of sad, but we booked the venue in Banff. We paid a wedding photographer, and we did that in 2019, and we were planning to get married in June 2020. Obviously, around March, April, everything was canceled. I think we lost $1,000 or $1,500 from that wedding photographer for canceling. And then I think it was the summer of 2020. Things are slowly getting back to normal in Banff. We went back to Banff and we rebooked for 2021. And we booked an even more expensive wedding photographer. We used the same wedding planner, Danielle. She was amazing. And again, it got canceled. I think it was the fall of 2021. They'd canceled all venues for 2020. 2020, fall of 2020, they canceled for everything in 2021. So we were SOL there too. And then even worse yet, that wedding photographer took $2,500 non-refundable deposit, which she refused to budge on because she expected us to go back there a year later in our wedding attire and get pictures done so we could still get the pictures done. It was brutal. We gave her a brutal review on Better Business Bureau, and our wedding photographer, our wedding planner who used her in her packages, removed her from her packages. I left her terrible reviews everywhere I could. Yeah, really dirtbag move. But so yeah, we lost roughly, I don't know what that is, $3,000, $3,500 in photographers over the course of 2 years. So after that, I was like, I don't even know when we're gonna get married. I don't know if it's gonna be Banff. I don't know. I think it was the 2021, the fall of 2021, or spring. We went look at venues for the fall of 2021 in Winnipeg, at least to get married in our province and have family and friends come. By the time that came around, they were only doing like 20 person per venue, max capacity, so we canceled that too. And around that time when we canceled it, we bought the house I'm living in right now. We pretty much put the rest of our wedding savings into that, bought the house, and we're like, okay, it's not going to be a destination wedding anymore. We invested in this home. And obviously, last year we bought the cabin, and that's when it hit me after we bought the cabin. I'm like, we have this beautiful dock, this gorgeous view of this lake. Why don't we just get married here in the summer? And we made the plan. And yeah, that's what happened, we booked it around, there was family in Holland that was in a country. The middle ended June, so we booked our wedding that weekend so they could come up from Winnipeg, and they were there. It was great. And yeah, that's how we came up with the date and the venue. So I'm going to discuss how the date went, wedding attire, venues, all that jazz. I will say that it was and it wasn't a financial issue. The wedding was pretty much paid off. And I kept telling people, that's the only thing I could see myself stressing over. Years ago, when people were like, you're going to be so stressed out with your wedding. I'm like, I don't think so. But it is. It's stressful. It's not finances. It's planning. And is this person going to be there? Is this person going to be ready for this? And, is this ready? Is the food? We got our food finally confirmed the week before the wedding. Everything compiles. And on top of that, my Edmonton Oilers were in a Stanley Cup Finals. My God, man. So they were in a finals, first time since I was in grade 12. And it looked like they were going to get smoked. They were down 0-3. And that was the week of my wedding. I'm like, okay, so they're, the week before my wedding, rather. I'm like, they're going to get knocked out. I don't have to stress about it anymore. I think I'm not even going to watch the games anymore. I'm just going to concentrate on wedding, deco, and everything else because we were back and forth to the lake, getting everything ready. And of course, they dragged it out to Game 7. And it was the day after my wedding, Game 7. So, and I couldn't even be that upset when they lost, even though, it was 2 loose pucks, Oh, I look on it now and it's disappointing, but at the time, it was like a huge weight was lifted off my shoulders. I didn't have to pay attention to it anymore. But yeah, it was super stressful. Add that on top of it all, and the main reason it was stressful, obviously, it's amazing to have your team in a Stanley Cup final, especially a Canadian team, because they're at such a disadvantage in this league. It's just the way it is. The market, the dollar, players would rather play somewhere else for the most part. So it's special when a Canadian team gets to the Stanley Cup final, especially a team, you know, the caliber of this team with the players that are on it. There was a really good chance, and I look back at it now, I'm like, they could have easily won that championship. And I could be sitting here with a championship hat right now, but it is what it is. And yeah, it really, really added stress. But like I was going to say, the main reason was I was going to go to the parade, which would have been that weekend. They would have won the cup, which meant I would have had to race all the way to Edmonton, do a burn and turn, go to the parade that day, and then drive back and with my cousin Joey. So that was kind of stressing me out too. I'm like, am I going to have to go to Edmonton now? Like, oh, I just wanted to breathe and relax after this wedding. So there was that. That's a huge aspect to my stress. And obviously, like I told you guys, there's all these little things where you're like, is this not going to work out? Is that not going to work out? Guests coming. You got to get confirmations. I had family come that had never been to Thompson before. My father-in-law booked a massive tent, or he bought a massive tent, which he's renting out through his business now, a $10,000 tent where we held everything inside. We decorated it so nicely with disco balls and lights, and the tables we rented from the area we got the food from, which is a marina at the lake. I always talk to you guys about great food. They catered for us, and it was amazing. We got ribs and mushroom meatballs, mashed potatoes, Caesar salad, and there was one more dish that was in there. Oh, I can't remember. There was pierogies as well. So it was a great, amazing supper. My fiance's bride, maid of honor, actually made the cake for us. She makes cakes, and it was so great. Triple layer cake. But that's where we did the dinner and everything else, and the dance late into the evening, and we obviously did the ceremony at my dock. For my attire, when I was picking the wedding in Banff, because we were going to do it at the Fairmont initially, the very first time we booked was the Fairmont, which is crazy expensive. I'm kind of glad we didn't book in Banff, because we would have spent like $15,000 more than we spent now on this like little homegrown wedding we did. But we were going to book for Banff, and that really regal ballroom in the Fairmont, which I think itself was like $15,000 just to rent that ballroom, and then it was another $5,000 to get married on the patio. We were paying for all of that, and I was gonna go with Tails, a classic Tails, because it's a very medieval looking. Well, not medieval looking, but the ballroom's definitely medieval looking. We were gonna get married, but the hotel itself is just very classy. I was gonna go with Tails. My fiance, or my wife, hated that idea, but I was like, no, you know what? This is one thing I'm not letting you fuck me over. Like, this is what I'm going to go with, me and my groomsmen. But for this one, I went with a Western attire, which is like the fashion of this hovel I grew up in Saskatchewan. It's very old-fashioned, and a lot of the older guys, my uncles, my dad as well, they all wear cowboy hats to formal events and Western wear. I wasn't going to go wear cowboy boots, but I definitely was like, we should do bolo ties and cowboy hats, and I think it'd look really, really sharp, and it did. Oh man, those suits look good. Yeah, it was a really, really, really nice choice, and I'm glad I made that choice. So obviously I had my four main guys. In my wedding party, I had my cousin Joey, who I grew up with. He's like my sibling, as you guys are aware. My buddy Jackass was my best man. My buddy Darren Marcus. My two friends from work I've known for over 15 years, Darren and Dave, they were there as well. A part of that crew. I got them all custom bolo ties. Their own bolo ties are about $60 each. I got them nice cases as well. I bought them all their own cowboy hats, which are about $200 each. And then I got everyone Cuban cigars for the day of the wedding. Those are $30 each as well. And I figured I would do that because we were renting tuxedos, and they were going to be renting their own. So I'm like, I don't want them to have to buy a hat too, and you can't rent cowboy hats. So I got them from a Western attire store in Saskatoon. Got their head sizes, and Darren's head actually was a size too small, so his hat in those pictures, I don't know if you can notice it, his hat's pretty big, so. But I told him just for the pictures and standing there, obviously, at the ceremony, it's all you need that hat for, so. Yeah, my fiance's, or my wife, see, it's so hard. I'm still getting used to it, guys. My wife's bridesmaids all wore blue. Our theme for the wedding was blue and white, Dutch colors, because she's Dutch, her family's Dutch. And I didn't mind it. I love the Dutch culture. I love the country of Holland. I love it. It's probably my second favorite country in the world behind Canada for sure. I always said if I have to move to another country, it definitely would be Holland. So that's what they did. Her dress looked amazing. She looked phenomenal, so beautiful. And she's got great makeup, great hair, always is what she has, my wife. And she did her own makeup and everything. She looked phenomenal. The dress itself was crazy too. Her mom had bought her that dress, which she didn't want, but her mother bought the dress. Her dad paid for all the booze, which was excessive. But that's my father-in-law. He's always excessive and extra. And we had the big party afterwards. But the funny thing about that weekend is there's a fair in town that weekend. We didn't mean to book it for that weekend, but again, we were booking around Dutch family being Canada. There's a big fair in town called Nickel Days, and it's a celebration of the day they found nickel in this town, and they founded the nickel mine I work at. It's notorious for raining every year. It rains heavy during that weekend. It's always a weekend where you can expect heavy rain, so we were anticipating rain. We actually had a backup plan to get married inside the tent. We had an arch built and everything. We were going to decorate that arch if it was going to rain, but it looked like it was going to be good weather. Well, it turned out to be phenomenal weather. It was like plus 30 that whole day. But myself and my groomsmen were not ready for that kind of climate. You see, where I'm from, our summer days are usually plus 20, plus 25 Celsius. That's usually what we are. On average, a nice warm day. So for us to get plus 30, plus 35, like it's hot. We're not used to it. And I know that for a fact because I just came back from Toronto from a Creed concert. I spent a weekend with my buddy Jackass. And it was plus 38 the whole time we were there. And it was just absolutely draining us. Like we're not used to that. I always think of like a Game of Thrones situation where they talk about the people from Winterfell don't do good in King's Landing, the heat, right? That's pretty much what happened. Like I grew up in the prairies. I grew up in hot cities, but I've lived here for 20 years now, and I'm used to our cool summers. Like plus 25 is a nice hot day, and anything hotter than that, it wears me out. So that day was like plus 35, plus 30, plus 35 with the heat. We had, we had vests, our jacket, our shirts underneath. We had cowboy hats on, which I keep telling the guys I'm kind of glad we did because it helped keep the sun out of our face. But I remember my wife and me were getting married, and first time I seen her, she's like, why didn't you cry? Why didn't you cry? And I was like, as we were getting married, I was like, because I was trying not to pass out. My arms and my legs were just pouring sweat. It was very, 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 very uncomfortable. I'm so grateful for the day though, because the pictures look amazing. Clear blue sky, that beautiful lake. We stained that deck or that dock that weekend, and it looks so nice. We put our dock in the water. We're actually going to put our boat in the water tomorrow, which I'm really excited about for the next month and a half. We're going to be boating out there. But yeah, so we got married, and we took it back to the tent after our wedding photographer got a whole bunch of pictures done. All over the place. We got them done with my groomsmen before the wedding. Then she went over to the bridesmaids and the bride and got a bunch of pictures done there. And then as a group, we all went to like this big open field at the park, at the provincial park where the cabins are. We got a bunch of pictures done there as well. It was amazing. And then she did a whole bunch of pictures in a limousine that one of my wife's cousins brought. He actually brought his family in a limousine that he rents out, and he decorated it for us, which is a huge like move on his part. It really enhanced everything. Like we got pictures riding the limousine with the just married, and it looks so nice. Yeah, it was great. I'm really glad and really grateful that he did that. And yeah, we got back to the tent. We ate our amazing supper. We had a dance floor we had actually brought from town. It was six big. It's basically a stage that you can convert to a dance floor. We put it underneath the disco ball. We had a speaker and a microphone and everything there for speeches and for music afterwards. We had Spotify going with all sorts of wedding hits. It was so fun. We just stayed up till like 2 a.m, drinking and dancing, and I'm so glad everyone had such a great time. You know, nothing bad happened, no drama or anything, which there never really is in my life in terms of that kind of thing, drunken drama. But yeah, it was a great day. And it's true, you'll always remember your wedding day, and I'm so glad it worked out. And all that stress, was for nothing. It was great. I'm so happy with the way it turned out and all the guests and everything else. And I remember the week after, I was like, oh, I felt like I slept for a couple days. Like I was so relieved and kind of worn out. And I knew I had 3 more sets of work, and then I was going to be on vacation, which I am now. So, I just wanted to relax. And, it took a couple, or at least one whole set of my first days off after waiting to get everything all cleaned up, get my cabin back to normal. We actually rented out our cabin to some contractors for a week. I had to get that ready for them as well. And yeah, I just been keeping myself busy. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to take a break from YouTube for a month or so just to relax and, not have the stress. But I got to get content out and this and that. Like I said, I'm a part-time ASM artist. You guys know I'm not going to have 10 videos out a week, or, I know one girl I follow, a huge ASM artist. She does like 50 videos in a week at the beginning of the month, all back to back, and she releases them throughout the month, every 3 or 4 days. And I'm like, holy shit, I don't have time for that. But I mean, it's great content she makes too. So yeah, so that was my wedding. Great day. I'm really happy with it. I'm so relieved it's done. My God, am I relieved it's done. I'm really happy with my wedding band. It's a really nice, almost like a Viking looking thing. I don't know if you guys can see that. Very masculine looking. I actually got sized, and I was going to buy a platinum ring, which is about $2,000, I believe, from Michael Hill. And they couldn't give me a picture. And I was like, what's it look like? For $2,000, I'd like to know. Or my fiance or my wife, jeez. At first, it's like, you sure you want to spend that much? And I'm like, it's going to be a ring I'm going to wear for the rest of my life. So if it's a nice, expensive ring, it's got some weight to it too, which is the guy kept saying, oh, it's the weight, it's the metal, Finally, I got it out of him. I got pictures of it, and I'm like, it just looks like a silver ring. So the average person's just going to see a silver ring on my finger. It's not like they're going to ask me, is that platinum? So I was like, you know what? That doesn't make sense for me to spend that much. It's just a literal silver-looking ring. So I seen this bad boy, which is a tungsten sapphire ring. It's got a nice shine to it. It looks very masculine too. So, and it was on sale that day. I got it for $500. It was on sale from $800. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll take it, and I'm really happy with it. And yeah, I've worn it every day since. I'm really starting to get used to it. Yeah. Like I said, it's a life change for sure. And it's something I'm really happy with and really proud about. Not a lot of people in my family have actually had weddings. In fact, I think myself and my cousin Chantal are the only ones that have actually done weddings in my family from this generation. So I'm really happy about that. My whole family, all of them, they all have kids, and then they don't get married. They just have kids and families, and they just don't bother with the wedding. But me, my fiance or my wife, Jesus Christ, Randy, start saying your wife. Her family is very old-fashioned, and They wanted us to be married for sure, especially before we had kids, which we're definitely talking about doing now here in the next near future. Within the next 6 months or so, we're definitely going to be probably attempting it. So there is that to look forward to. But guys, that's going to be it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'm glad to be back. And I hope you guys, if you were missing out on content from me, you enjoyed this. I will be also doing an unboxing of a McFarlane McDavid figurine I got in the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. So I'll be releasing that next few days as well, and he'll be joining Solid Snake Cammy and I didn't even know what that is, the stripper samurai girl. He'll be joining them. But with that being said, guys, have a great day, great night, whatever it may be, and peace out. Peace out, peace out, peace out.